Welcome back to Strategy Simplified. Today I'm bringing you a special episode. It's a recruiting intel drop, and it's especially going to be useful for those of you recruiting right now. I'm mostly going to be talking to undergraduate and non-MBA master's students, but there's some goodies in there for those MBAs and other candidate groups as well, so keep listening. I'm going to share 3 important recruiting updates, including interview intel and upcoming application deadlines that you don't want to miss. First off, we've built some incredibly useful resources for you to use for free that are linked to in the show notes, and I'll be referencing those as we go along. Finally, before we jump in, I'd love to ask you to take 5 seconds to subscribe to the channel wherever you're listening or watching so that you get notified when we post new content. We're here every single week and we'd love for you to join us. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about McKinsey. Interview invites for the McKinsey business analyst role for most candidates went out earlier this week on Monday, August 4th. If you haven't heard from McKinsey yet, there's still a chance, but most offices will wrap up invites in the next couple of days. In addition, round 1 interviews for the BA role at most offices will take place in early September, the first week of September. These will take place virtually, so you're not being flown in. However, many final rounds will be in person. McKinsey will fly you out to the office that you're interviewing for, and those interviews will take place roughly 1 week after the round 1 interviews. On the flip side, on Wednesday, August 6th, McKinsey sent out round 1 rejections for some candidates, along with invites to join their Keep in Touch program. If you got one of those emails, it means you're out for this cycle, but not necessarily forever. If McKinsey gave you specific feedback about why they sent you that email, then you now know what you need to work on between now and the next time you apply. If after this cycle, you will now be an experienced hire candidate instead of a campus hire, check out our jobs board. It's free, linked in the show notes. There's over 1,000 consulting jobs for you, many of them geared at experienced hires. So check that out at the link in this episode's show notes. All right, moving on to update 2. This one starts with Bain. So management consulted sources tell us that Bain is continuing to roll out its creative case format alongside traditional cases. When we say traditional, we're talking about your standard case interview. There's a business problem. You build a framework to solve it. You work through some math and creative questions. There's a discussion, and it ends with a recommendation that you present to the interviewer. That's a traditional framework. When we say creative, we're talking about cases that are more discussion-based and don't always require a rigid framework. We expect to see even more creative cases pop up in round 2 interviews, especially in West Coast offices. We've got tons of resources to help you prepare for both traditional and creative cases, including a case library that has over 600 MBB and other firm cases. In addition, we've got coaches that would love to work with you to prepare for both case types. Link in the show notes for more information on all of that. All right, update number 3. This is what a lot of you came for, application deadlines. Many of the deadlines for McKinsey, Bain, and BCG have already passed, particularly those for undergraduate and non-MBA master's students, but there's still a few coming up. In addition, there's a lot of boutique firms that are going to start hiring this month, next month, and October. So like between now, which is early August, through October, there's going to be lots of opportunities for you. That's kind of the US timeline. If you're outside the US, then expect those opportunities to come a month to 3 months after the US timelines. So you'll be looking at roughly October to January kind of timeline for those applications. Let me just quickly highlight a few upcoming application deadlines. LEK's associate role is August 18th. McKinsey's full-time associate role for second-year MBAs and for advanced professional degree candidates is September 4th. Bain and BCG undergrad deadlines, these are the second deadlines. They both had deadlines earlier in June and July, but those have passed, so now there's additional opportunities. If you applied with the earlier wave, you cannot apply again, but if you didn't, then this is your chance to get in at the last minute. And these deadlines are in early September, September 2nd and 3rd. We have an application deadlines tracker. It's free. It's linked in the show notes, so check those out for many, many more deadlines, and also bookmark that page because we post them there. In addition, we post deadlines. We share deadlines every single week on our social media. So Follow us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, and elsewhere to be the first to know when more boutique firms, as well as the Big Four, drop deadlines starting right now. So check out the links in the show notes for some amazing opportunities. And don't sleep on boutique firms. They offer amazing opportunities, great pay, great career progression, and just are amazing environments to grow and start your career. So don't sleep on these. That's your recruiting snapshot. We're keeping track of every interview invite, every date, every format change in real time on our website. We have a consulting recruiting updates live blog. We've linked to it in the show notes in the description, so check that out right now and bookmark it. We update it daily. It's got a lot of good stuff for you who are recruiting right now. So check that out. You'll also find links to our application deadlines tracker and some great free interview prep materials that are a great place to start. If you have a limited time to prepare or you want a structured approach to case interview prep, give yourself a competitive edge by investing in coaching. Our most popular coaching package, Black Belt, gives you 10 hours of one-on-one prep with an MBB expert, perfect for mastering both traditional and creative case formats. We recommend 6 hours for round 1 prep. That's 6 hours with an expert coach and then additional hours with a partner or solo. And then you save the remaining 4 hours from Black Belt until after you've secured those round 2 interviews. So you can polish and brush up for those. If you're not quite ready to commit to Black Belt, start with just 1 hour of coaching and upgrade to Black Belt later. All the details for these programs and more are in the show notes. Thank you so much for following along. If you're not subscribed yet, we'd love for you to do that now before you head out. This has been your recruiting intel drop here on Strategy Simplified with Management Consulted. Reach out to us if you've got questions about our programs or just don't know what your next step should be. Our email is team, that's TEAM, @managementconsulted.com. We'd love to hear from you. All right, we'll talk again soon.